The Torah portion of the week is Bereshith. The means the beginning, in the beginning. And we're going to be reading Genesis 1 through Genesis 6:8, Isaiah 42:5 through 43:10, and John 1 through 17. Chapter 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth the earth came to be formless and empty, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the spirit of Elohim was moving on the face of the waters. And Elohim said, "Let light come to be," and light came to be. And Elohim saw the light, and that it was good. And Elohim separated the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there came to be evening, and there came to be the morning one day. And Elohim said, "Let an expanse come to be in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And Elohim made the expanse, and separated the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it came to be so. And Elohim called the expanse heavens. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the second day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it came to be so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, and the plant that yields seeds, and the fruit trees that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And it came to be so. And the earth brought forth the plant that yields seeds according to its kind, and the trees that yield fruit, whose seed is itself according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the third day. And Elohim said, "Let lights come to be in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times, the Moedim, and for days and for years. Let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth." And it came to be so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And Elohim set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the fourth day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters teem with shoals of living beings, and let birds fly above the earth on the face of the expanse of the heavens." And Elohim created great sea creatures, and every living being that moves, with which the waters teemed, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning the fifth day. And Elohim said, "Let the earth bring forth the living being according to its kind, livestock and creeping creatures, and beasts of the earth according to its kind. And it came to be so. And Elohim made the beasts of the earth according to its kind, livestock according to its kind, and all that creep on the earth according to its kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim said, let us make man in our own image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over all the creeping creatures that creep on the ground. And Elohim created that man in his image. In the image of Elohim he created him. Male and female he created them. And Elohim blessed them. And Elohim said to them, be fruitful and increase, and fill the earth and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the seas, and over the birds of the heavens, and over all creeping creatures of the earth. And Elohim said, see, I have given you every plant that yields seed, which is on the face of the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it is for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to every creeping creature of the earth, in which there is a living being, every green plant is for food, and it came to be so. And Elohim saw all that he had made, and see, it was good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the sixth day. Chapter 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed, and all their array. And in the seventh day Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested in the seventh day for all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made. These are the births of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh Elohim made earth and heavens. Now no shrub of the field has yet on the earth, and no plant on the field had yet sprung up, for Yahweh Elohim had not sent rain to the earth on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. But a mist went up from the earth, and watered the entire surface of the ground. And Yahweh Elohim formed the man out of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils, breathed out lives, and man became a living being. And Yahweh Elohim planted a garden in Eden, and in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground Yahweh Elohim made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and with the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. It was one surrounding the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium is there, and the Shoham stone. And then the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. It is the one that goes towards the east of Asher, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. And Yahweh Elohim took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, Eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat it, you shall certainly die. And Yahweh Elohim said, It is not good for the man to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him as his counterpart. And from the ground Yahweh Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see that he would call them, and what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living being, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, and to the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. And to the man there was not found a helper for him as his counterpart. So Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yahweh Elohim had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. The man said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one is called a woman, because she was taken out of man. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed. And the Nahash, commonly known as the serpent, was more crafty than all the lives of the field which Yahweh Elohim had made. And he said to the woman, It is true that Elohim has said, Do not eat of the tree of the garden. Is it true that Elohim has said, Do not eat of every tree in the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We are to eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, Do not eat of it, nor touch of it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, You shall certainly not die, for Elohim knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eye, and a tree desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made loincloth coverings for themselves. And then they heard the voice of Yahweh Elohim walking about in the garden toward the wind of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh Elohim among the trees of the garden. And Yahweh Elohim called unto Adam and said to him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself. And he said, Who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman who you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life. And I put enemy between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel. To the woman he said, I greatly increased your sorrow and your conception. Bring forth children in pain, and your desire is for your husband, and he does rule over you. And to the man he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten the tree of which I commanded you, saying, do not eat of it, cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you are to eat of it all the days of your life. And the ground shall bring forth thorns and thistles for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you are to eat bread until you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken, and for dust you are, and to dust you return. And the man called his wife's name Hawaha, because she became the mother of all living. And Yahweh Elohim made coats of skin for the animal and for the man and his wife, and dressed them. And Yahweh Elohim said, see, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. Now lest he put out his hand and take also the tree of life, and eat and live forever. So Yahweh Elohim set him out of the garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. And he drove the man out, and he placed cherubim in the east of the garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. We're on 4 now. And Adam knew Hawa his wife, Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man, Yahweh. And again she gave birth to his brother Abel. And Abel became a keeper of the sheep, and Cain became a tiller of the ground. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of fruit of the ground to Yahweh, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock, and of that their fat. And Yahweh looked at Abel at his offering, but he did not look at Cain and his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell. And Yahweh said to Cain, why is he wroth towards you? Why is your face fallen? Is it not if you did good, you are to be accepted? And if you do not do good, towards the door is a sin. He is lying, and towards you is his desire, and you must rule over him. And Cain told Abel his brother, and it came to be when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. And Yahweh said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's guard? And he said, what have you done? the voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall be a fugitive and wander on the earth. And Cain said to Yahweh, my punishment is too great to bear. See, you have driven me from the face of the ground today, and I am hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and wander on the earth. And it shall be that anyone who finds me kills me. And Yahweh said to him, well, if anyone kills Cain, he shall be avenged sevenfold. And Yahweh set up a sign for Cain, lest anyone finding him strikes him. So Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Hanok. And he built a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Hanok. And Hanok was born, and to Hanok was born Irad. And Irad brought forth Mahelo, and Mahelo brought forth Methuselah, and Methuselah brought forth Lamech. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives, the name of one which was Ada, and the name of the second was Shelah. And Ada bore Yabal. He was the father of those who dwelt in tents with livestock. And his brother's name was Juba. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and the flute. As for Shelah, she bore Tubal-Cain, a smith of all kinds of tools in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Nahamad. And Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Tillah, hear my voice, wives of Lamech. Listen to my words, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. For Cain is avenged sevenfold, and Lamech sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and he called his name Seth. For Elohim had appointed me another seed instead of Abel, because Cain had killed him. And to Seth, to him also a son was born, and he was called Enosh. Then it was begun to call on the name of Yahweh. This is the first book of genealogy of Adam, in the day that Elohim created man. He made him in the likeness of Elohim. Male and female he created them. And he blessed them. And he called their name Adam, in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and brought forth a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. And after he brought forth Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years, and brought forth Enosh. And after he brought forth Enosh, Seth lived 870 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years, and brought forth Eon. And after he brought forth Eon, Enosh lived 815 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. And Enon lived 70 years and brought forth Mahalalel. And after he brought forth Mahalalel, Kenan lived 840 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Eon were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years, and he brought forth Yered. And after he brought forth Yered, Mahalalel lived 830 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Yered lived 162 years and brought forth Hanak. And after he brought forth Hanak, Yered lived 800 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Yered were 962 years, and he died. And Hanak lived 65 years and brought forth Methuselah. And after he brought forth Methuselah, Hanak walked with Elohim 300 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Hanak were 365 years. And Hanak walked with Elohim. Then he was no more, for Elohim took him. And Methuselah lived 175 years and brought forth Lamech. And after he brought forth Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years and brought forth a son, and called him Noah, saying, "This one does comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahweh has cursed." And after he brought forth Noah, Lamech lived 495 years and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And it came to be, when man began to increase on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were good, and they took wives of them, of all whom they chose. And Yahweh said, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever in his going astray. He is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of Elohim came to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, the men of name. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And Yahweh was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And Yahweh said, "I am going to wipe off man whom I have created from the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature, and birds from the heaven, for I am sorry that I made them." But Noah found favor in the eyes of Yahweh. That ends the Genesis part of the Torah part of the Torah portion of the week, for this week. I'll be turning to Isaiah 42:5, picking up from. "Thus said Yahweh, who created the heavens and stretched them out, who spread forth the earth, and that which comes from it, who gives breath to the people on it, and spirit to those who walk on it. I, Yahweh, have called you in righteousness, and I strengthened you. Your hand and guard you, and give you for a covenant to a people, for a light to the nations, to open blind eyes, to bring out prisoners from the prison, those who sit in darkness from the prison house. I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my esteem I do not give to another, nor my praise to idols. See, the former predictions have come, and new ones I am declaring before they spring forth. I let you hear them. Sing to Yahweh a new song, his praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down to the sea and all that is in it, you coastlands and inhabitants of them. Let the wilderness and its cities lift up their voice, the villages where Kedar dwells. Let the inhabitants of Selah sing. Let them shout out from the tops. Let the wilderness and its cities lift up their voice, the villages where Kedar dwells. Let the inhabitants of Selah sing. Let them shout from the top of the mountains. Let them give esteem to Yahweh and declare his praise in the coastlands. Yahweh goes forth like a mighty man. He stirs up adder like a fighter. He cries out, yes, shout aloud. Over his enemies he shows himself mighty. I have kept silent from of old. I have been still and held myself back. Like a woman in labor, I now cry out, I pant and I gasp at once. I lay waste mountains and hills, and I dry up their plants, and I shall make rivers become coastlands, and dry up pools. And I shall lead the blind by a way they have not known. In paths they have not known, I lead them. I make darkness light upon them, and crooked places straight. These matters I shall do for them, and I shall not forsake them. Those who trust in idols, who say to molded images, you are mighty ones, shall be turned back, utterly ashamed. Hear, you deaf, and look, you blind, and see. Who was blind but my servant, or deaf, and my messenger whom I send? Who is blind as he who is at peace, and blind as a servant of Yahweh? You see much, but do not guard. Ears are open, but do not hear. It is delighted Yahweh, for the sake of his righteousness, to make the Torah great and esteemed. But this is a people robbed and plundered. All of them are snared in holes, and they are hidden in prison houses. They have become a prey with no one to deliver for plunder and no one to say restore. Who among you gives ears to this, pays attention and hears for the time to come? Who gives Jacob for plunder and Israel to the robbers? Was it not Yahweh? He against whom we sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, and they did not obey his Torah. So he poured on him his burning displeasure and strength of battle, and set him on fire all around. Yet he did not understand, and it burned against him. Yet he did not take it to heart. But now, thus said Yahweh, your Creator, O Jacob, and he who formed you, O Israel, do not fear, for I have redeemed you, and I have called you by your name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I am with you, and through the waters they do not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, You are not scorched, and a flame does not burn you. For I am Yahweh, your Elohim, the set apart one of Israel, your Savior. I gave Mizraim for your ransom. Cush and Seba is in your place. Since you were precious in my eyes, you have been esteemed, and I have loved you, and I give men in your place and people for your life. Do not fear, for I am with you. I shall bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I shall say to you the north, give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. But my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth, all those who called by my name, whom I have created, formed, even made for my esteem. He shall bring out blind people whom have eyes, and deaf ones who have ears. All the nations shall be assembled, and the peoples be gathered among them. Declares this, and show us former events. Let them give their witnesses to be declared right, or let them hear and say, is it true? You are my witnesses, declares Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, so that you know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there was no El formed, nor after me there is none. Now we'll be in Johann or John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. He is the beginning. He was in the beginning with Elohim. All came to be through him, and without him not even one came to be that came to be. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from Elohim, whose name was Johann John. This one came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all might believe through him. He was not that light, but he was the might, but that he might bear witness of that light. He was the true light, which enlightens every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, them he gave the authority to become children of Elohim, to those believing in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the desire of flesh, nor of the desire of man, but of Elohim. And the Word became flesh, and pitched his tent among us, and we saw his esteem of an only, as on, of only, and his esteem as an only brought forth of a Father, complete in favor and truth. Johann John bore witness of him, and cried out, saying, this was he of whom I said, he who comes after me has become before me, because he was before me. And out of his completeness we all did receive, and favor upon favor. For the Torah was given through Moshe, and the favor and the truth came through Yeshua Messiah. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.